Hi everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the flea market. We are back at it again. So today is a Friday at the flea market. So typically one of your slower days. And as far as slower, just less vendors, less foot traffic. But we still find some great stuff today, and generally flea markets are really good. Entrance fee here on a Friday is 50 cents, and there's no parking fees. And entrance on a Wednesday, I believe, is also 50 cents. I haven't been on a Wednesday in a while. But the big days, which are Thursdays and Sundays, which are typically the days where there's the most vendors, the most foot traffic, I think it's $2. So the buying cost isn't very much. So when you're starting out here, you do have to take into account, depending upon also how far you drive. This isn't very far for me. I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 miles away from my house. So the price of the gas that it took me to get here is pretty negligible. So I'm just factoring in the 50 cents it cost me to get in. So I'm in the hole. I'm already in the mindset. I'm in the hole 50 cents. So now I gotta build my way out. Not a very big hole. So not very much. It's one item will bring me up back into profit for the day. Le Creuset is a great brand. It's great pots to find, and I don't usually find them too much at the Goodwills. I asked this guy. I think he said $80 for that, and which was a little bit too much.
How much on the pot?
But that's about what they go for, about $80-$100. Great pots, especially the lids. We find the lids. Look for them at garage sales, Goodwills, flea markets as well. This guy knew exactly what it was, so he priced it up already. But I found them at Goodwills and stuff, so for about the same price as normal pots and pans. And don't forget, the lids too, because people are always looking for the lids. So if you just see the lids, it's great to pick up. I am in the market for a new flea market cart. One of these, the one I got was from Costco. Definitely bring a cart when you go to the flea market. There have been times where I've showed up to the flea market and I'm just gonna bring one of my little, just a little rolling cart, small one. Even, any size doesn't matter, but you got to bring a big one like that red one right there, because you never know what you're gonna find, and you never know what you're gonna find for a great deal. And I made the mistake of leaving my regular cart behind, just bringing my smaller one, and then I gotta go get it no matter what. So bring a good sized cart to the flea market if you're out there sourcing, because you will find stuff to fill that cart with, and you'll need it. So, and then my cart is one with the handle can kind of detach, and you can kind of roll it behind you, kind of in front of you. But it's been a little loose lately, so I'd recommend getting a cart with a handle that's stationary. I was able to put a bungee cord around it today, so it wasn't popping out of its little socket the whole time. And I recommend a cart with brakes, because many times you have to park your cart and then go up and down these aisles, tiptoe through all the different products, and being able to lock it is great, because what happens, it starts to roll away. All these flea markets always have uneven pavement, so you don't want it rolling away. And in the unlikely event that someone tries to roll away with it, the wheels will be locked and they won't be able to. And, the flea market, I'm pretty sure there's stuff gets stolen there all the time, but it's not something that happens that often. And everyone's usually really good at just policing everybody's stuff, basically. So the only couple of incidents I had where people have mistaken my cart for theirs, so no harm done. Digging through some boxes, it's definitely great to go through some boxes. Didn't really see too much. You never know what's in there on the bottom of those boxes. We have found one time we found a tiny little Sanrio twin stars, vintage, probably from the 80s, I believe. It was a little wrist pocket, like a little change wallet that goes on your wrist. Ended up selling that for like $75, and we found it at the bottom of the thing. I think it was like a quarter. And then we also came across a little box which happened to have a set of diamond earrings in them, which was also amazing. Nothing crazy, about $100, but they don't even know what's in the bottom of these boxes. Usually they'll be at if they're cleaning out an estate, or if they are cleaning out a locker, they'll just bring the boxes straight over here, leave them all sealed up, open them, and let the shoppers go through those boxes. So you're finding it, they're seeing it for the first time. Usually that means great price. So here we go. A lot of bike parts today. This is the beginning section, so you can already anticipate that prices will be a little bit higher, and they're going to have a lot of stuff out to kind of draw you into their thing, but it's not worth buying to resell. Generally, a lot of tools are purchased at this Goodwill. People buy a lot of tools here. One thing what I've sold here is clothing. Clothing just goes crazy. I've brought clothing here before, and the people just go through it like, it's wild, and they buy it all up. So clothing does really well if you're a seller here. If you're a buyer, I'm not really a big buyer of clothing, but I have found some good stuff. Nothing wild, but just depends. Now here's a gun holster. I have bought and sold gun holsters before. Not 100% familiar with this brand, but I'm going to look it up a little bit. I'm leaning towards buying it, so and we'll come back to that. This is a Coach, but it was pretty messed up. This vendor here in the front they do price pretty well. Stuff on the floor is usually not very good, but the stuff on the tables usually is pretty good, and I have found some great stuff there. And just going through these wallets here. And got a bunch of shoes out. Yeah, some of their better clothing, some of their Levi's are out here. Now, when it comes to Levi's do really well online, no matter what. Here's a TI-84, which I ended up deciding to buy. That button was kind of sticky. Batteries were dead. But otherwise, it looked clean, so I'm like, I'm going to take a chance on that. So I think she wanted $10 for it, so I'm going to check out what else is on the table. Not 100% sold on the TI, buying the TI calculators. I know a lot of people buy them online, but I don't know if it's just my area, but they're usually priced up pretty high, and I don't know. I don't see them. I don't see that they bring that good a profit based on what I'm buying it for. But I'm gonna end up picking up that calculator after doing a little bit of research.
Calculator? 10. Okay.
And then definitely gonna pick up the gun holster.
And holster? 5. Okay. I'll do that.
Oh, and I see. Oh, this right here. I didn't even see this on the first pass, but it's a Patagonia backpack. And when it comes to, Patagonia is great brand. Um, Usually it's priced up, but you can find it out there. It's pretty. It's not like the market isn't flush with them, but they're out there. And these backpacks do really well. The last backpack I sold wasn't as didn't have as many compartments as this one, but it sold it for I think about $60 or $70.
How much for your backpack?
And this one here, I'm guessing probably a little bit more, maybe double that.
30.
Maybe about 120, 140. But she was giving me $10, so $10, I'm gonna take it because it's gonna go for at least what I remember selling the last one for. And then that TI calculator was looking about 40, $50. Does work. I was able to test it, and then the holster should probably be about, I think it was about $30.
There you go. Here's, I'll get the backpack and 30.
But you gotta look up the brand when you look at the
Thank you very
holsters. Check the brand on those. They're usually stamped or embossed into the leather. So here we are looking at their purses on the table, and they're priced pretty fairly. I think they were at $10 a purse. I should do pretty well with what I pick up here because I do find a fossil key. So keep your eye out for fossil bags. They do really well, and generally they're right around the $40, $30, $40, $50 range, depending upon the size. So, and this one, especially if it has all the accessories too, which this one did. Just a nice vintage fossil key bag, and it has the key charm. So, this one definitely going to pick up for $10. That should be, I'm guessing this one should be about $40. It was a nice leather bag, really nice. So, picked up those items. We're going to move on down here. Yeah, usually has some interesting stuff. I spot these older comics, which, you know, I know I probably shouldn't have bought them, but I did anyway. They were $5. I'm waiting for this guy to move. Another reseller buys all kinds of vintage stuff. He's here at the flea market. I see him all the time here. And I'm just waiting for him to get out of the way. Just kind of biding my time, taking a look at other things, just in case. But I did notice the comics were kind of older, so definitely wanted to get me take a look at them, and I will end up buying them. Like an uncut sheet of older Topps baseball cards. So here we go. He's finally moved. I'm gonna pick them up, but like I said, not worth it. Even though they were older, I'll probably just get my money back. The condition was horrible. It was really interesting just in that top one right there. If it was in better condition, it's probably about $20 or $30. And then these other ones, I'll probably just lock this whole thing up and sell it for $5. Just get my. I won't even get my money back. I'll make a little bit less, but nonetheless, I'll get something back. Those little people thing were kind of interesting, but I didn't know what they were. They look kind of like almost like gas holders or something, or I don't know. Just kind of staring at them there. Those things look weird. They're little blue people with backpacks.
This one yours? How much are these guys? 3. Yeah.
This guy's really nice. Yeah, I bought stuff from him before, so I don't feel bad buying those from him and losing money. prefer he has the money. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that's just what you need, more cars.
Cinco cambios. Hey, buddy.
Not really.
Cinco.
Not really.
Alright, take
Right,
a
you got
bag
it.
right there, sit
Gracias.
there.
Va, le vaya bien.
All right, but we're moving on. Let me know if you guys spot anything there. If you guys see anything here while I'm walking around, just drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of my finds. And as you can see, as I kind of panned around, it was pretty empty in this initial lot. And this is a Friday. Typical for a Friday. There is one guy that I haven't seen for a while that comes on these off days, like Wednesday and Thursday. And he takes up usually that whole middle section. But his prices are pretty high, so I don't really buy from him. This guy right here, pretty good. He has a van this time. Usually comes out. Usually, if he doesn't have that much, he'll come in a Mustang, and then he has a box truck. It's the first time I've seen him come in a van. But he has purses this time, which I thought was kind of odd. Doesn't usually have purses here, and this is a hobo purse. And I was gonna go ahead and pay up for it because it had everything in it. He wanted $20, and this purse should probably bring about 60 to 70 bucks. Because it's a hobo. And I just picked up a hobo not too long before this, so kind of interesting. And I was looking up hobo at that time already, and I saw the bigger purses do go for a little bit more. There was one, and I don't remember the style, but it went for $150, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up from him. It's kind of unusual that he has purses, because it's not typical. So I'm gonna take a look at everything around. That's a nice setup. This guy really does
20?
really does well here, and you know he sets up everything nice for everybody to look at. A really good seller, and I don't mind paying up for stuff. And I bought stuff here from him just for myself. Saw a keyboard. I'm addicted to keyboards, but I won't pick this one up. It's not highly desirable. Little box of miscellaneous electronics. There were some dead phones looking in there. Funky Hello Kitty thing. Let's use some earbuds and a case of miscellaneous batteries and chargers. That's what I'm used to seeing here at this one. Not purses or Hello Kitty or anything like that. Just making sure I don't pass anything up. Alright, we're gonna put everything back there. I want to move on to the tables because we have a bunch of electronics and stuff on there that I might be interested in. He also does a lot of laptops, so if you are in the market for a laptop, I highly recommend checking out your local flea market if you have one. They're usually priced pretty well and still do the job of any, going down to Best Buy and buying a laptop. As long as it's not too old. Laptops are very plentiful, and don't go spending, for your business, don't go spending, $1,000, close to $800, because in reality, a generic 5-year-old laptop is going to do just fine for what you need. If you're getting into YouTube, doing video editing, you're going to need, a good computer for that. But if you're just, reselling, if you're just, putting stuff on eBay, getting your pictures uploaded, all that, any laptop, I would recommend like 5 years old will be fine. Don't need to go purchase the latest and greatest. Go to the flea market. You'll find great deals. And find something. This guy will be able to test it out for you too. So definitely if you're buying a laptop, and especially because if you're going to use it, Ask to test it. Ask if they can if they have the ability to test it there. And there will always usually be this guy here. There's another guy as well that will have laptops here that you could actually test there. And generally look for vendors that are always there. This guy's always here, so you know that they will. You know that they will kind of back up their products, back up what they're selling. So check out this calculator just in case. I don't remember this style here of HP calculator. I just don't recall what the there is one that goes for a lot, and I just don't remember the model. The other one, like that smaller rectangular, this one's rectangular, but the other one was more. You use it in a rectangle. Well, this one you use it as a rectangle. But the other calculator, there's another calculator. It's the 11C. You use it in its horizontal position, I think is what I should be saying. That one, you want the HP 11C. Then this model style, there's one number that's really desirable. Just checking everything out, see what I got, what else I can bundle with his purse, but I don't find much else, so that's gonna be it. Now we get to the middle section here. This is really where I want it to be. I want to quickly move the front area. I do want to check everything out, but I want to quickly move through there so I can get to this side. This is more like what we call like garage sale side, just because it's not anything new. It might be new stuff, but it's not like people that. It doesn't look like a retail store set up at the Goodwill. I mean, at the flea market. Everything is laid out for everybody to see. And generally, you want to get there earlier, just because not only is the good stuff out, but the heat of the day, everything's just sitting there exposed to the sun. The sun does damage, and the odds are, if it was already not working, it's not working. I mean, it's not because of the sun, but nonetheless, the sun does damage to things. So we'll try to get there early, try to snag things. Also, too, just the heat of the day. It's going to get hot, especially during the summer. It's going to get hot at the flea market, so you want to beat the heat, beat other people to the items. But also, too, generally the latter part of the day, you'll get better deals on things. Just because the people, they've already had their stuff out there. They've been out there. Maybe they don't want to pack it all up. So they're more inclined to deal. First thing in the morning, not usually, because they're just getting there. It's still kind of cool. They're just putting their stuff out. Not a lot of people have walked by yet. So it's kind of a trade-off.
Thank you.
I usually like to come about between 8 and 9. Because that's not a lot of vendors get set up very early at this flea market. They usually don't start letting people. I mean, they'll let people in early, like the regulars, but like all the other vendors, they usually don't start trickling until about 7. And it's a traffic jam. You get in here. It's a real traffic jam for vendors to get in here, and then you got to find your spot and then get set up. Generally, about 9 o'clock. Usually, everybody's set up already. That's gonna be there. Also, too, you want to make sure you get good parking. They don't charge for parking, but you want to make sure you get some decent parking and you're not spending, those extra 5 to 10 minutes just walking into the flea market, because you could be missing out on a deal. Keep my eye out for books. Books are overlooked, and books are usually cheap. So I'm just keeping my eye out, see if there's any books that might be worth it there. Spotted that Plato's Republic book. But it was something modern, and Plato's Republic has been made over and over again, so This is like this. These vendors over here to the left and right. These are more what I call like retail vendors here because all this stuff is brand new. And here we go. They've got stuff laid out over here, which is what I'm looking for. Looking for something to draw me in. Just scanning the floor, scanning the floor. And one thing I tend to do, which I gotta learn to look up more, is I'm always looking down at the stuff. So some of these vendors they have stuff hanging, and I'll miss things just because I'm not trained to look up here at these flea markets. I see a motherboard box. You got to be very careful with computer components. Even with the vendors that can't you can't test a motherboard or a processor or a video card here, but you just have to check it out, make sure it's very clean. Oh, I spotted some like graphic novel type things here, but nothing to pick up. Here it is. Here's the motherboard right here, and it wasn't even the right. It wasn't even the motherboard that matched the box. So, like, yeah, it looked clean, but I really don't feel like testing a motherboard. Kind of pain in the butt. Usually I'll just plug it in and just see if there's any lights come on it. Because you need a processor for it to actually get it up and working. And so I'll just check the condition. I'll plug it in, see if there are any lights that pop up on it, and we're good to go. But to really thoroughly test it, you need the matching processor.
Yo, man, you robbed highway robbery.
And generally you want to disclose that in your listing.
You take box too? No, that's part of the deal.
But I haven't had any. I really haven't had any issues with motherboards that I've sold.
Are they salted?
And scanning. This guy has some pretty good electronic equipment, computer stuff sometimes. And he prices pretty well, so I'm gonna put this stuff underneath the. Oh, I grabbed a little model airplane off camera too. I forgot. I really haven't comped it yet, but it was brand new, and she wanted. I think it was $5 for that little model, so I thought I'd take a chance on it. But again, I'm just covering stuff up. The sun's just beating down on everything, so that's one of the reasons why I bring an extra bag along. I definitely recommend bringing extra bags, not just to put stuff in, but to also kind of conceal stuff from people and or from the sun. And also, to act as a cushion, because you don't know what you're going to buy. You don't know what's going to be out there. And sometimes you just need a little bit of protection for your items as well, too, just from you putting stuff in the cart. Spotting a few things here. Interesting. Definitely some interesting little things. Something to draw me in. The prices are just a little bit too high. I was gonna ask on those Apple earbuds over there, but I think he wanted $60 for a used pair. Yeah, that would be right. I mean, it wouldn't be a good profit margin for me. I think he said they were brand new, but I mean, you have them out there open, exposed. Plus, I just started the flea market adventure. I don't want to spend all my cash right off the bat.
How much are the headphones?
There's a little like a wrist. Right here. It's like a buffalo nickel leather band, wristband. Which is pretty cool. I've sold a belt like this with a bunch of things, and the belt sold for it was $60 for the belt. So definitely keep your eye out for the belts. Those buffalo nickel belts do pretty well. I don't think they're real. I'm not sure if they're real buffalo nickels or what, but the belt is pretty good. go. Let's take a look. See keyboards. Keyboards draw me in every time, but not very good keyboards there. Generic. But I will find a keyboard a little bit later on down the road, which is a keyboard I sell regularly all the time. $40, $50 for this style of keyboard. It's the Microsoft Ergo keyboard. You'll see it as I move down the line here.
It's not going to take.
Let's see what else we got. Yeah, nothing else really that great here drawing me in. And we're moving on down.
Hobo.
Just scoping stuff out, trying to look stuff up that I've spotted just in case. Making sure I'm you know, appropriately passing those items. Make sure it's not things aren't necessarily worth it. This guy here does pretty well. And I bought a bunch of camera cases from him. Very, international. Price is a little bit high, so you do gotta be cautious. But great vendor. He has great stuff. So definitely gotta check everybody out, even from people you don't buy from too much. There's a whole set of golf clubs over here, so I thought about it, but man, that would be a serious shipping endeavor there, which I didn't really feel like getting involved in. But I did see them there. They look pretty old. Kind of remind me of that Seinfeld episode when Elaine buys the Kennedy golf clubs, and it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting, but nah. Over here to the right, I'm gonna pop in really quick. I hear this girl ask how much the prices are on these shoes, and a lot of Hokas over here. They don't look. They weren't new. They were definitely used Hokas, but in great condition. And Hokas do really well, and I think she said $30 or $40 for these. And I was kind of keeping an eye out for my size. That's a decent price for, 4 Hokas that were in that condition. And generally on eBay, Hokas go right around the $40 range. Used Hokas, that is. Used Hokas are generally about $40. So usually you'll find some good stuff with over here on this side. It's just usually with all this stuff you would think there's a lot more you can buy, but a lot of it is just filler stuff that just doesn't really have any value, that's just out there to make make your booth look good, full of stuff. But people buy all kinds of stuff. And if you do want to sell at the flea market, I'd recommend just bring, as long as it's clean, you have working stuff, bring it, price it aggressively, because people come to the flea market, they're looking for a good deal. And if you price aggressively at the flea market, you'll sell out. You will sell out. And especially like clothing, this guy has a lot of new clothing. Got to pick the right day to show up to the flea market, especially depending on what you got. If you got a lot of stuff and you want to move a lot of stuff, generally you want to go on the busier days. If you just have a few little things here and there, definitely you can do well on the slower days at the flea market. And then each stall is, at this one here, I think it's $30 per stall. Yeah, I think it's $30 a stall. So I was kind of leery there. The guy was testing on a pellet gun, It's like, oh my goodness, he's really gonna shoot it off right here. And he did. And I was like, oh great. Hopefully there's not a pellet sitting in there somewhere. Check out this Manscaped thing. It was brand new. I wouldn't buy one of these used because of what they're used for or what their purpose is intended for. But it was brand new. It would have been great, but I think he wanted $40, and it would have sold for about $60. So after fees and shipping supplies and all that, maybe $10. So it wasn't gonna be worth me spending $40 just to make 10. But I'm also getting a sense of what's out there. I might come around and make an offer depending upon what else I see, what else I purchase. Again, I don't want to spend all the money I have. You definitely want to go on a budget, or not. Take the amount of money that you're willing to spend. Don't get crazy with the amount of money you bring to the flea market, because you could end up overspending for items that you'll find out later don't work or are too dirty, or maybe you thought it was a good deal and you bundled everything up and it turns out not to be. So just be cautious. Have set yourself a limit. This is what I'm going to spend, and go there and try to find the most profitable items with the amount of money that you spent. Don't exceed your budget, especially if you're on a limited budget. Don't exceed your budget. I usually go with the amount of money in my pocket. I'll take out, on a day like this, $200 and attack the flea market, and I do really well with that. I didn't even spend my whole $200 here. Occasionally, if I do find anything good and everything's priced up, I will use Zelle. Not too many people use Venmo anymore, so a lot of people want Zelle. So if it is something priced up and I'm familiar with the vendor, I will sometimes send money through Zelle. It's all dependent upon what it is. And I have to be able to look it up and make sure there's a sell-through rate. And it's definitely selling. Okay, we're scanning this little table here. It looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty good here. But, again, it's not high-end stuff. Not really worth it. Saw some little Legos there. Check out this pottery, this glassware. That was Avon. Those wine bottle holders aren't good. I don't recommend picking those up. They look cool, but they're not worth it. They don't resell well. I'm trying to make over to one of my friends, Lupe here. She sells here almost every day, and usually that's pretty good stuff. So I'm trying to get around over there to her area, but I also don't want to pass up anything here as well in these all these other aisles. See a lot of miscellaneous little metal work there. Watches, tools. I think this guy had like a lot of medical or dental stuff here. Definitely not a place you want to buy dental equipment, and I don't even think you can sell that on eBay. So be very cautious with medical, anything to do with medical, with the human body, like blood pressure machines. I think I've said it before, the CPAP for sleep apnea. I don't know, those dental things don't look like it'd be very good on, like, eBay would even allow you to do that, sell it. Just because, there's they have to be sterile, and I don't know. I'm not getting close to that. Also, too, another thing I stay away from a lot are vitamins and supplements. And, I know a lot of people sell that online on eBay. Your protein powders. You don't need a prescription for any of that stuff. Vitamins. But I don't know. I don't want to be the guy that sells something to somebody and they have some adverse reaction. Or you could end up with a lot of bad feedback. Like, this didn't work. You know, negative feedback. I bought it from him. Negative feedback. Or even expired stuff. You have to stay, you know, you have to keep on. Yeah, I do sell some stuff that it does expire, like ink for printers and stuff. Though that stuff does have an expiration date, but you're not putting that in your body. So my recommendation is don't get involved in things that expire, and especially vitamins or protein powders. Even, I mean, just general food in general. I tend to stay away from it. I don't want to, you know. You never know. You never know, and I don't want to be the guy known as, you know, he sold me something and it made me sick. I don't want that. Same thing with like fakes. I don't want to be the guy known as selling a fake. Because once you sell one fake, then the person you sold it to is like, you know, he may have a friend and he'll tell the friend, you know, word of mouth is huge as far as advertising goes. And he'll be like, well, stay away from this guy, you know, be careful. I bought something from him and it was fake. So I definitely don't want to be known as a guy that sells fakes or try to sell fakes. We're coming to the end of the aisle here. Lots of clothes, lots of stuff I'm not going to buy. Just not worth it. Not worth it, and it all looks like just brand new stuff that they're bringing to the flea market. So, just checking out this guy booth, because this guy usually is like $1 for everything, so... I saw that toolbox, that DeWalt, looked like a socket set, but I think he actually had a $45 on it, and I was like, alright, never mind. People over here, this guy, the guy over to my right used to have a lot of electronics and older electronics too, like vintage. Oh, take a look at the car. Here we go. That's that keyboard. That one sells $40-50. Great keyboard. Keep your eye out for it. That little circuit board was actually a little binder, a mini binder or a planner, and the covers were made out of old circuit boards. Look out for those. People like them, and they sell actually really well if you do find them. They are rare though. I don't find them that often. Over to the left, I probably should have went over there sooner, but you'll see in a minute, and you'll see definitely in the recap what I find there. Spot some electronics, which would draw me in. Although there was nothing here, I probably shouldn't have looked here at all because there was nothing for me. But it is some cool stuff and older stuff. It's all vintage. And where I got those that keyboard at too, that was all old, like 90s, early 2000s. So definitely some vintage items. I saw a Diesel laptop bag. Thought twice about it. Diesel was pretty big in the early 2000s. But I'm scanning. I'm not really sure what's over here yet to the left. I do kind of glance at it, but it's a guy that doesn't usually have stuff I pick up. I've gone through it before, and it's not usually the best. And he's one that just brings, you know, as you can see, just not this guy here, but the guy back where I was walking past. He just brings boxes and lays them out. We're scanning. Seeing some older, definitely some older stuff here. Cool stuff, but not really worth reselling. Especially too, you know, you gotta also worry about the cleaning of items because a lot of this stuff does need cleaning. It's been sitting in storage. Who knows if it's been open or not. Watch out for dead bugs. Mice. I haven't seen a dead mouse, but definitely remnants of mice. That mice have been roaming through these boxes. So when you go to the flea market, be prepared for that stuff. Be prepared for dirty items that you're going to need to clean them up. Some of the good vendors will actually spend time cleaning their items before they actually put them out. But then again, it's just like when you put stuff on eBay. You're going to test out. If it needs testing, you're going to test it. If it needs cleaning, you're going to clean it. You're going to try to make it appealing to your buyer or whoever's going to potentially buy it. Same thing here at the flea market. Although there are people here that just bring boxes and they do just as well. So it's a flea market. That's what a lot of people come to the flea market to do: dig through junk to find those hidden gems. This is Lupe's side. I'm going to pick up this hat. This is Insane Clown Posse hat. I don't know, underground bands. They dress up as clowns. They have a crazy following. And I had a friend that was just a huge fan. I am not. They're kind of like a rock, heavy metal, death metal type of rock, rap vibe or sound. So I know this hat will go for about 25 to 30 bucks. Scanner, she still have more bike parts, but looks like she sold most of the parts off already. But still a few. Not really the bike parts. Hopefully this week when I head over there, she'll have a nice refreshed stock of items from a new storage unit. And she usually does. She's a hustler. She really attacks this flea market, attacks the units, finds great stuff, great units. And you'll see a lot of these people, you'll see the people that, that buy storage units, they'll, the good ones end up getting good storage units. And the bad ones get the bad storage units. But routinely, she finds great stuff out there. And one of these days, maybe I'll get into storage units. I don't know. It's a whole different world. I don't have the resources at the moment to do that. As far as like a big, you need some sort of big van or truck. And, you're probably going to be going over the dump to dump items. So you got to take all that into consideration. I bought and sold this style of calculator, but there are some bugs in it. So it does pretty well and does clean stuff. But I saw a couple of bugs in it, and I was like, dead bugs. That is, they were dead. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna. Who knows? They're probably got up all inside this little camera, and I don't want to send somebody something and they see bugs in it. So I'm steering clear of that. Even though I have bought and sold that $30 or $40. So I'm just going to stick with a hat. This guy's a good idea. Bring in an umbrella. Definitely the sun is intense. And especially because it's summer. Keep your eye out. Definitely you want to be comfortable. So keep your eye out for an umbrella. Buy an umbrella here. It's cheap. Don't go out and buy any umbrella at the store. Just come to the flea market. So another booth here, just a little bit further down. Let's spot this Nike wallet, and the only reason why I picked it up is because it said Nike Golf on the inside, and Nike doesn't make golfing products anymore. So I think he said $5 for it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to pick that up. Not sure what the comps are on that. I didn't really look it up at the time. But I'm guessing hopefully about 15, maybe $20 on that one. So there you go. Oh, I think he said $2.
Thank you.
Very much. So I'm going to pick that up. It was Nike Golf. So we're going to pick that up and move on down the line here. But before I head over there to the boxes, I spot this jewelry guy here. This was a little interesting piece here. But I spot some watches over here, and they were, this was a like a pocket watch, and it had the Millennium Falcon on it. And I didn't look it up at the time. I kind of just went off gut feeling. And I thought it'd be pretty rare. You don't see pocket watches too much, and especially, Star Wars or, any pop culture stuff. And it turns out, sold comps are pretty good. Like about $40 or so for that. This guy appears to be making some lunch. Probably bought everything here. I mean, they have everything here. I mean, the bread's delicious. The produce is fresh. But I end up spotting also a what do you call it? A Star Trek watch too. So, as a matter of fact, he points out a
How much on the watch right there?
Matter of fact, he points out a another Star Wars watch, which I do end up picking up just because he gave me a good deal on that thing, and I was like, sure, I'll definitely pay up for that.
Yeah, right to that.
And then,
oh, that one. Okay. Oh,
not a very good one. I'll definitely make my money back on this.
that's cool. Thank you.
Or I should say, I'll make the money back on the
Oh, how about this Star Trek?
deal overall with that one. It's about $10 to $15 or so.
10.
But then I also spot this Star Trek one that was really cool.
Would you do 10 for both of these?
And
I'll go 12.
Go 12? I'll do 12. That's
I'll
cool.
go and pick up both of those as well. And I'll definitely, I'll make my money back on all those easy and then be in the profit.
There you go. Yeah, change there. Oh.
How much one?
$15 for the other two. So, I haven't comped out the Star Trek one yet, but the Darth Vader goes for about $15, $10 to $15 or so. So, not bad, not the best, not bad, but the other one, the Millennium Falcon one, that one would do really well.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
So we're moving along here. Stop there really quick, and then we're going to circle around to those boxes. So here we go. We're at the boxes now. And we are spotting comics right off the bat. And just a lot of pop culture stuff here. This is all from the 80s and 90s. And so I'm a little overwhelmed right when I first see everything. I don't usually pick up comics, but you saw me pick up comics earlier today. But I'm not going to do it here. Usually not worth it. But he had boxes of comics, so that drew me in to see what else he had. More comics, more comics. And none of these comics really look as older ones like Bronze Age, Silver Age comics. But I do spot some magazines, and those do really well. Especially in good condition, and especially the subject, depending on the subject matter as well too. So I'm just kind of scanning, seeing where I'm going to attack this at. Bunch of DVDs, bunch of stuff. I mean, this guy, whatever locker is, well, this guy had some, according to my opinion, has some good taste. DVDs generally aren't worth it. I'm not really a DVD guy, but I will. I mean, if I find something cool, something that's worth it, something profitable, I'll definitely pick it up. And the first thing I see is this Aliens. Oh my goodness, this was really cool. Star Wars on the back. Oh man, that's 2 separate magazines. And it's in like a protector already. This guy, whoever had this stuff, took care of it. They had it like an Ultra Pro type style of protector, which gets sticky like that. But luckily, it was inside another plastic protector, so all right. But sometimes if it gets sticky like that, it can rip off the you know, the photo, rip pieces, chunks out of it. And that's not good.
Hey, how many?
That guy was asking about the cooler.
Which one?
Still scanning, looking around here. I'm like,
That's the old.
oh, where is it? Oh, like a Gundam thing, but it wasn't. It was all loose in there, so. As you can see, the boxes, the comics there. Maybe it would have been good, but you know, I think I what happened was I turned off my camera because it was overheating. So I thought I got the rest of that video, but I guess I didn't. Or I thought maybe I turned my camera back on, but it must have just turned right back off. Either way, we're getting close to the end of the video here, guys. I do recap some of the stuff that I did pick up from that vendor at the end. But a lot of great stuff. Great day at the flea market. Got some great stuff to put in my store. Yeah, we're checking out some more jewelry here. This was like a WW World Wrestling Entertainment. I always want to say Federation, like the old WWF. But don't really find much of anything else here. But we got some great stuff. That keyboard is going to do really well. Look out for those Microsoft Ergo keyboards. They sell pretty quickly. The last one I listed sold within minutes of me listing it, so which was great. Old, you know, stuff from the 90s and 80s, you know, magazines do really well. Of course, Star Wars, you know, be on the lookout for Star Wars stuff. But another great day at the flea market here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up with this video. We're closing in on an hour on this one, and you guys will go ahead and we're gonna move right along to the recap here. Okay, so welcome to the recap. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight a few things. You saw a lot of the stuff in the video already. Video is pretty long, so I'm going to try to keep the recap a little short. These flea market videos tend to be longer, just a lot more to go through, a lot more vendors. So I think I was there for almost 2.5 hours in total, walking the flea market, checking everything out. It can be kind of tiring. It's hot. Going through a little bit of a, you know, plantar fasciitis in my foot, so it does, you know, well, it helps to walk. If I walk too much, it gets a little sore. So either way, we got some great stuff I just couldn't, you know, turn down. So first off, I've sold something similar to this already. Now, I would definitely recommend picking this if you see anything like this. What I did sell was a notebook with, you know, actual paper in it, like a spiral notebook with a circuit board as its, you know, as its covers. Now, this is just like a little like planner. If you're familiar with like Franklin Covey planners, that's what this is similar to, just a small planner. 6 rings here, and the front, back, and spine are all made of circuit board. Pretty cool. I remember this about probably early 2000s, maybe. There was a company that was making a bunch of these. They were just churning them out in books and binders and all kinds of stuff, which is using old circuit boards. So pretty cool. And what's cool about this one is this one actually has IBM on it. So because it has IBM, it might be a bit of a premium as well. Especially here, you know, in San Jose, IBM was huge. And, you know, IBM's a big name in business and cloud software right now. So, but a cool device. The guy that bought my spiral binder, he asked me if I had any more of these, like, circuit board created, I don't know, stationery. And
So I'll probably try to find his old message, shoot him a message, and see what happens. Maybe he'll want to buy this too. But pretty cool. I value this probably at about. There's not really any comps on this stuff, so based on what I sold the book for, I think I sold the notebook for 40. So I'm guessing this will probably be somewhere around the same range, $30 or $40 for this guy. So cool pickup, really cool. Just, if you're into technology, into computers, this is really cool. And I hope to find more. So the next thing I bought was this model. So I was going back and forth with the guy. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to buy it, and went ahead and bought it. Brand new. Just a hobby, build the airplane. I think it's just plastic pieces you snap together, and then you have to paint it. You have to buy the model paints. But upon review and looking this up, I found comps around $80 and up to $120 on this guy, brand new, sealed. So if you guys see this out there, any models, definitely give them, definitely look it up. Especially these older vintage ones, it's made in Japan, 1993. Pretty cool. Some of the cars aren't that great, but people ask a lot. So I have bought model cars, and people tend to ask around $20 a model. But a lot of the cars don't really seem to be worth it. This airplane is worth it. So definitely pick this up. Worth the money I paid for it. Then the other thing I picked up was this graphing calculator, which I was able to test. And it does work, as you can see here. Clear that. So the buttons are a little sticky-ish. So we'll see what I can do about that. But it's a TI-84 Plus Silver. And this one here, the last sold comp was $54. And I think I got this for $10 or so. So, nonetheless, great profit in this item. And usually flea markets are great profit. Usually you can bundle stuff up, and that helps to make better profit on individual items that might not necessarily be great by themselves, but once you start bundling things up, you got yourself a great deal, which is what I did which was what I was doing with one of the vendors where I bought this model and I bought all these magazines. Because I wasn't quite sure of the magazines. I didn't know, really what their value is, but they were cool. And I really liked them. And, they're from the 80s. Where are these from? These from the 90s or 80s? These have got to be from the 80s, I think. But these Lucasfilm Fan Club magazines, still with the original paper that he would get. I don't know whose address that is, but probably they're probably not there anymore. But these are old. How old are they? They got to be from the 80s. I really didn't see the age on them. Issue number 16, Lucasfilms. I don't know. I'm guessing the 80s, maybe early 90s on these magazines. But $20 a piece on eBay, it's pretty good for each one. And this is the other one I got. Pretty cool stuff here. I mean, look at that. Lucasfilm Fan Club. Pretty cool. Indiana Jones. Come on. And then, again, another from the 90s, Batman Returns. She's still in the original packaging here. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I mean, I wish I could find that thing right there. That would be nice. That would definitely be a keeper I would add to my collection. I remember this is 1992. I remember all these little Tiger handhelds, and they had a whole bunch. My favorite were the Ninja Turtles, but I had a bunch of those, and then eventually, the Nintendo came out with the Game Boy, and then Sega did. Look at that hologram there. This one isn't really worth too much, but I'm going to keep it. Batman, the original Batmans, I remember when I was a kid. I remember when they first came out. I remember standing in line for that first Batman movie and, just getting all the merch, everything. I had a really cool Batman belt buckle. So, I mean, when the original Batman came out, it was crazy. I loved it. And, of course, then Batman 2 came out, Batman Returns, and that was amazing, too. Adding Catwoman, the Penguin. Awesome. So I'm going to keep this book for sure. That'll go into my collection. Then another one here, Arnold Schwarzenegger Muscle Magazine. Couldn't really find any comps on it, but I'm guessing probably around $20 again. But brand new, still in the original packaging. Look at September 1991. And, he's got the Terminator. Looks like Terminator 2. Yeah, Terminator 2. Awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Amazing film. But look at that. I think this is a Arnold's Training Secrets full color pullout. So his bodybuilding secrets, amazing book. I mean, just still in the packaging, still original from 1991. What is that? That's like, let's see, 2000. That's like 30 something years. It's been sitting in the original packaging. Piece of cardboard. Then we got Return of the Jedi, 1983 magazine in a package. I don't know if that's the original packaging it came in, but in a sleeve. This one I'm also going to keep here, just to add it to my Star Wars stuff here. But fantastic, the magazine of imaginative media with the Jedi Returns cover there. So keeper for sure. I mean, look at the condition. It is in great condition. Can't believe this stuff was in there. Also, I can't believe, I usually don't go to those vendors in the corner where I've got all this stuff from, but when I spotted a few things, I was like, let me go check it out, dig through those boxes, and wish I had gotten there earlier. Wish I'd gone over there earlier to see what he had, but you never know. And when you're at the flea market or you're thinking of going to Goodwills or whatever, you don't really know what people have. I was going through my usual routine, looking at the vendors that I generally buy from all the time. And I know always consistently have stuff that I'm going to buy from them. So when people come around with stuff and, when people like this guy here, for instance, usually technically doesn't have anything that I really want, but this time he did. And one time out of, I don't know how many times I've seen him, probably almost 100, 200 times. I don't know, at the flea market. And usually never buy anything. Or if I do, it's always just some little knickknack that I wasn't really excited about that maybe it sold, maybe it didn't. I don't remember. But this stuff's all cool. This stuff will sell for sure. At least the stuff I'm going to list is going to sell. Then this right here, Aliens. This is another like magazine. This is amazing. I am debating whether or not to hold on to this or not. I mean, the condition of this stuff is just crazy. So I might hold on to that. We'll see. And then I grabbed this Zelda one. He had a bunch of these books here, a bunch of these what are they? Prima games. And I didn't really go through all of them. I probably should have, but I just grabbed the one. I mean, Zelda. I think Zelda is the most popular. And this book, I think, because this one, the other ones I didn't see had the map or the poster on the inside. And so the one that went for, I think, 35 or was 40, I'm not sure, had this poster ripped out already. So this one still has the poster in it and everything. So I'm thinking 40, maybe $50 for that. We'll see. Legend of Zelda, can't go wrong with that. These I didn't grab from this vendor here. This is from another guy. I just grabbed these there. They was what did I say, $5 or I think it was $5 for all these. This one isn't worth anything. It's not worth. This one is. Its condition is everything. So I'm gonna say it's probably not worth it. It's really messed up. I might post it for, I don't know, $5 or something. I have no idea. This one here, the condition's a little bit better. It's all taped up here on the seam. I'm thinking maybe $5 for that. We'll see. Just make my money back on the deal. That was a bad buy. I shouldn't have bought these. And I knew better. I knew I shouldn't have bought those. But they were comic books. They were older, and I just took a stab at it. It was only $5. Overall, I'm not going to lose any money on my trip, but those were not a buy. I should not have bought those. So those are the magazines. And then the other big item, which I think is probably going to be over $100. I couldn't find the exact comp on this, but I've sold Patagonia backpacks similar to this. This one's a little bit more. Here it is right here. Let me bring it into the camera view. This one's like a little more tactical. It has a hard case in front. I mean, just this one's just way more. Got a lot more than the one I've sold before. So, I don't know, 120, maybe 150 on this. The other one I sold for $60. So, I got this backpack for $10 and at least $60 or more. So, pretty good profit there. Maybe $150. But these are the items we got. I mean, just some cool. And then you saw the other stuff I got in the. I have my. This is. I don't know if. Insane Clown Posse hat. I mean, this is pretty cool. So, awesome hat. Awesome hat. But not my thing. So, I'm going to sell it. Either way, guys, that was the trip of the flea market. A bit of a longer video because it is the flea market. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you to everybody that's subscribing, and appreciate thumbs up. Appreciate every new subscriber. I'm going to keep putting out content. Check out my shorts, putting out shorts of things that I've sold or cool things that I find. I'll quickly just throw up a short on it. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for the support. I appreciate any comments, thumbs up, subscribe, all the good stuff. See you guys next time.